You need to know your history before you can start moving forward.
1940, the city opened up a cemetery for use with the African American community at this location.
Back in the early 50s, there was a Negro pool that the city of Clearwater wanted to get put in.
So there was a decision that was made to relocate the burials at the cemetery in 1954.
They thought, they were doing was clearing all the bodies away from here. So they went ahead and did that, put the pool in. Then the school system, later on, several years later, wanted to put a school here, and again went to the city, asked that the bodies be removed. I guess they did the best they could to try and remove them, but some were left.
Burials were not moved because they just weren't visible at the time. Some had headstones, some had grave markings that were above ground. Some had they're kind of temporary nameplates. We actually found one of them in the ground. That gives us a lot of clues to follow here.
The NAACP reached out to USF, Jeff Moats, and his archaeology department, and they were able to do ground penetrating radar.
And that'll show us just kind of objects or differences in the soil that look like a cemetery. You're in a cemetery, you're gonna see some patterns appear in some of that data as it's recovered. We're pulling it out of the position that it was in that ground. So we're kind of removing it from its location. Part of the objectives, not just to kind of find the boundaries or the extent of the cemetery, but also is determine how many or where there might be some burials that are still remaining.
This is an area where we want to figure out if there are graves or coffins that are actually below the surface.
This type of work is really rewarding for us because we're getting to be part of truth finding.
Keeping everything in place, giving as much information to the community and to the property managers that we can do. We do find, in a lot of ways, important pieces that were left behind with those individuals who are buried here. We have so many community members coming by and just, imparting their stories and their memories of this place, which lends itself to, learning about these local communities and then kind of attaching that to the broader themes of what was going on in the 1950s and the 1960s.
It is important to understand, in this particular instance, how communities get overlooked. Those type of things hopefully will come to an end soon. And the sooner that we all, look back at our history, realize the relevance, then we can move forward.